This is the booksbybethel.com's Authors Corner podcast, where we chat with interesting authors, bring you insights, and marketing tips. Booksbybethel.com is an author's directory featuring family-friendly writings of Bahamians and West Indians. Here's your host, author, and publisher, Terry Bethel.
Well, welcome to another edition, another podcast of the Author's Corner. And today our guest is Mrs. Mickelle Pratt. Mrs. Mickelle Pratt is the author of seven books, French books. And we're going to have a wonderful conversation. I'm intrigued and I'm ready to go. So let's welcome Mrs. Pratt. Mrs. Pratt, welcome to our podcast.
Thank you. Thank you so much for the opportunity. I'm so happy to be here to speak with you today.
Yes, so this is our first time seeing each other, but we have been in contact for, it seems like maybe over a year. Has it been a year or two that we've
Probably 2 years.
Yes. So it's finally nice to put a face to the voice. And
Likewise.
I just want to thank you for your contributions to the marketing, not necessarily just marketing, but the initiatives that we have put forth. You have been such a blessing in allowing your books to go into the Eleuthera libraries, and
Yes.
you have been instrumental also with partnering with other authors for the marketing of their books. So that is fantastic, and I just hope that this interview also will bring exposure to your beautiful book. So first off, tell us about you. Just briefly, who is Mickelle Pratt? I know you said you're from Abaco, right?
No, I'm originally from Nassau, Bahamas.
Ah, Nassau.
Yes, but I live half of my life in Abaco.
Okay.
Yes, and that's where the birth of my books came from. While I was living in Abaco,
Okay.
you know, you're on the island, you have the time, you have the nice, sweet sea breeze, the relaxation to get creative.
Yes.
And that's where I started writing in Abaco.
Right. But what inspired you to write?
Well, I am a teacher. I have been teaching foreign languages now for over 18 years. Yes. And a lot of times the books that were in the classroom, the textbooks and the workbooks, I never found one book that really satisfied me, or even several books to really fulfill my lessons.
Okay.
So I ended up finding myself creating more content than actually using the books that were already provided for us.
Okay.
So one day I said, you know what? I'm always creating. I should just put it all together in a book. And
that is a brilliant idea. And it's so good to have textbooks that are created for Bahamians, by Bahamians.
yes,
You know, and then, of course, being an educator, you're able to write a book designed for our specific curriculum.
Exactly. And I am a part of the curriculum team for the French language with the Ministry of Education. So my books are tailored toward our curriculum.
Wonderful.
Yes.
Are they in schools now?
Well, they are in several schools. I've been using them in my school. Well, from Abaco, I've been using them in Abaco Central High. And of course, I'm here at LW Young now. Okay. So I've been using it there for years. And several teachers of different schools have purchased them and are using them in their schools with their students, public schools, private schools, and the like.
Right. Have you seen an improvement in the students' performance since introducing your books?
Absolutely. I owe a lot of my successes to these books. Over the years, I have I've gotten top results in the French BJC exams as well as the French BGCSE exams several times. In fact, just last year, 2021, I received the most outstanding results for the French BJC out of all of the public schools in the Bahamas. I got the top score. So,
oh, that is, congratulations. That's amazing.
Yes, thank you. And I definitely owe it to the books because, you know, like I said, I tailor the books to help the students not only to learn the French language, but to be successful in those exams.
And so I see that they're also conversational books. So absolutely. That makes it a lot more relevant than when I was learning French. We did a little conversation, but I think that it's so much more practical. You need the foundation, of course, but it's so much more practical if a child is traveling with his parents. You know, I know we used to impress our family. My father used to come and say, well, say hello to so-and-so. And, you know, you'd be able to riddle off a few words in Spanish and French or a little in German, because that's what you were taught in school. Unfortunately, many of us don't keep it up. I certainly didn't. I can recognize things, but the beauty of your book is, or your books, the beauty is that it's not just for the class, it's for adults. So adults can pick up your books and learn how to speak.
Right. Yes. The end goal
at different levels.
The end goal is not just to teach words or just teach French. You want to be able to use it in everyday life. You want to be able to use it to have conversations if you're traveling, or even if you speak with some of our visitors or our tours here in the Bahamas. You want to be able to use the language. And that was one of the most important reasons for me creating the books. Because like I said, the books, and the same thing you said, the books that we have been using over the years, you know, it's just big, bulky textbooks filled with information that, you know, you don't really always see the relevance. How can I use, you know, it just feels like I'm just getting through the book to get a grade. That shouldn't ever be the end goal of a foreign language. And that's not the way, you know, that's not the way I want to teach it. So I want to teach it in a way, and I want my books to be set up in a way where anyone can use it, all learners of any level. So that actually from the books are set from grade 7 straight to grade 12. And then my final book, any age can use it. You can use it in university because it is a vocabulary handbook. Okay, can I show it now?
Absolutely. I haven't seen this one, I don't think.
This one?
I can't see it very well. You're going to have to send me the actual graphic.
It's glossy. It's glossy.
Okay.
It's reflecting. But yes, it is the vocabulary handbook.
Yeah.
And it covers every topic that you'll ever need to learn in French from A to Z.
Okay.
Every topic.
Yeah.
And it's, to me, it's more than a dictionary. Okay, you look at it kind of like a dictionary, but it's a handbook. It's like your right hand if you are learning French. It teaches you all of the vocabulary that you need for any topic, and it gives you questions and common phrases that you can use to talk about anything in French.
Well, that sounds quite interesting because it sounds like it's a wonderful companion if you are traveling to a French-speaking country.
That's the word. It's a companion. That's the word. Yes.
I think that is a beauty to have.
And it's also, if you notice, it's small. It's almost like a novel-sized book. It's very portable. It's not hard.
So what is the size?
It's like 4 across and then like 10 down. Yeah, by 10. Yeah.
Or 6 by 9.
Maybe 6 by 9. Yes.
Okay. Well, we can always get the stats, but when you put it close to the camera, it looks massive.
It looks big, right? But then if you look at it and you compare it with the other books.
There you go. There you go.
So it's
Wonderful.
really, yeah, it's really portable. And that's what I really wanted to achieve with this book. I wanted a book that you can take anywhere. You can be on the plane. You can
Yes.
be on a train. You can be on a long car ride. You could be on the beach, anywhere. Because the thing with a foreign language, you don't want to just sit in the classroom and learn a foreign language. You don't want to just sit behind a computer. You need to spend time learning a language. And if you have a book that you can take anywhere with you, anytime you feel in the mood, you can just pop it open and say, oh, let me learn this today. Let me learn that today.
Right, right.
That
So
was
that is amazing. What used to frighten me, I think, the most was conjugating those different verbs. Oh, so do you make that easy?
well, I would
Or
say there's not
do you have
really.
a system for that?
Yes, absolutely, absolutely. You have to take it in steps. And the thing is, you never want to overburden one lesson with too many verbs. So you want to use like verbs, similar verbs, and focus on those in one lesson. And then any verb you hit, it's the same conjugation over and over and over.
Yes.
But when you move to a different type of conjugation, you do that in a different lesson.
Yes. Okay.
So you just take it in stride.
You got it together. Okay.
Absolutely.
So I'm curious. You have children. You have sons, right?
Yes.
2 sons.
2 sons.
Are they fluent in French, or are you teaching them French? Or are they like my children who didn't, because I'm an artist, they didn't want mommy to teach them art until now they're interested in art.
Oh, okay. Well, actually, they're both doing Spanish. Yes, and I speak both French and Spanish. My degrees are in both French and Spanish, but French is my love. French has always been my number one. Okay. But the thing is, they started Spanish in the primary school. And the thing is, French is not offered in the primary school.
Oh.
So students always see Spanish first, and they just continued with it. And then I speak Spanish with them. So beautiful. They haven't been into the French. They have been doing the Spanish, and it works because, I can speak both of them. So
yes.
And they both really love Spanish, and they do very well in Spanish. So I think they got the foreign language bug from me.
I love Spanish also. Spanish came a lot easier. But I think if I had more time with French, I only had, I think, 4 years of French. Okay. But I loved it. But when I transferred from the UK to the United States, they had Spanish, more Spanish. I don't think they taught French. And so, certain regions, because you're in Europe, exactly. You have Spain, but Spanish is a different kind of Spanish over there. Yeah. But I think it's fantastic when children can learn foreign languages, and French in particular. Our neighbors in the South speak French. Then Haiti, to a certain degree, they have the Creole. But I find that a lot of Haitians speak French as well as Creole and Spanish because of the Dominican Republic.
Right.
So, we in the Bahamas need to sharpen up with learning these languages and be more bilingual or multilingual, because the world is going to need us to speak this way, especially as we are really receiving an influx of visitors from so many different lands. We got to have the language to match who we are hosting. So that's wonderful. But I got to ask you this. I know we're featuring your French books on this communication, but do you have it in you to actually create a line of Spanish books?
I've been encouraged over and over by my professor Madame Dimon. She's also my big inspiration, my college professor from UB.
Mm-hmm.
She has been encouraging me for years to do the Spanish. And I think I will. Once I am sure that I'm done with the French. I still have a few more years of French left in me. Yeah, I want to just seal the deal, and then I think I will venture out into the Spanish.
So this is something I want to know, and I like to ask the authors. Do you receive reviews from people who use your books? I know you're getting the results. How important has being receiving reviews been to you?
Well, I receive reviews basically on Facebook. Yes, from either past students. Also, I've partnered with the University of the Bahamas as a supervisor for training teachers. So I've been mentoring teachers that are training to become French teachers, students, in college, training to become French teachers. And they have also been posting reviews because they have now started using the books, and they plan to use the books once they get placed into the school. So like that, I get reviews from past students and teachers that I'm training.
That's wonderful. It's so important for us authors to get reviews. And at this point, I would like to encourage those people who are watching to, if you're using the book, review it. Send a note. If you're buying it off of Amazon or Lulu, go on those sites and review the book, because that helps with directing the traffic to those books so that the author can get more sales, so that she would have the finances to create even more books. Most authors, we love to write, so it doesn't take much for us to write and be creative, but it does help to have the financial backing to bring these books to the fore. And it's not always the most, it's not the greatest expense, of course, but it's not the cheapest endeavor when you want to put a quality product together. And so please review the books, and don't just say it's a good book. Say why you believe it has been a great tool for you to use. And so we want to encourage you to do that. Well, when did you first write? What year did you first publish your book?
The first book that I published was in 2016. However, I was writing many, many, many years before that. But when I actually started from end to finish, it took me about 3 years to publish my first book. Like every year I was like, it's ready. And then I said, no, it's not ready. And then I said, it's ready. And then I said, it's not ready. So I kept back at it. I kept editing. And then my professor, Miss Madame Dimon, she was my editor. She's my encourager. And any book that I've ever written, I put it straight in her hands. Once I publish it, I put it in her hands. I let her check it out before I say, let me put it on the market. And she's my expertise. She is amazing. And she has more years in the profession than anyone can imagine.
Yeah, that's wonderful to have somebody. We were talking about that with another author not too long ago, how important it is to have people to critique and review your work. Absolutely. Because you want to present your best. And so I'm happy that you have somebody like that. I was wondering, as a publisher, Inspire Publishing, with Inspire Publishing, have you ever, because I see books from different angles, different perspectives, and I just love the idea of seeing children and adults read. Have you ever considered doing novels or novellas or picture books in French for little children? to bring them.
I have not.
No?
I have not considered that. That is an amazing idea. Like, my mind is spiraling right now.
Yeah. I would love to see a picture book that would teach. I know, I know, I know some parents who have their toddlers learning foreign languages, and if they
Yes,
could see the pictures, anyway,
yes.
we could discuss that off camera.
But this is why it's so important to collaborate and to speak with colleagues, because everyone has a new idea. I never
Yeah,
thought of that.
yeah,
And I really love that idea. So we are definitely going to chat about that.
yes, yes, yes.
Yes,
So
absolutely.
it's amazing what how you can glean from other authors too, and that's why we are building a community of authors with our authors corner with booksbybethel.com. We are trying to strengthen the foundation of reading and provide an outlet for our authors in the Bahamas and in the region to find good, wholesome books that build up and not break down. So we, in doing so, there are opportunities for networking, for coming together with each other for the purpose of not typical reviews, not just writing reviews for each other, because Amazon doesn't really favor that. You can't write for me and me write for you, because then that's kind of insider. But to critique a book, or as you have done, reading somebody else's book and writing a review for the newspaper or for Facebook. So it's important from that perspective to market and assist. And I find that quite often authors can be insular. They don't want, they're just thinking about their books and not sewing into somebody else's books.
Right.
And it doesn't take away from you
No,
to help somebody else in their journey. In fact, it probably opens even greater doors for you.
I think so.
So thank you for your willingness to even do that in the past, and to even read to your sons and have them to enjoy the various books. So that is quite nifty.
Yeah.
This is a little off the beaten path for the type of books that you write, but do you have a favorite author, either for your children or yourself? Um, you know, do I believe that readers make good writers, and I always encourage people to read. But who influenced you with writing through the years?
Well, when I was much younger, I used to read. I would say that when I was much younger. And then as I got into teaching, then I got into writing my own stuff. So I haven't been reading. But I could remember as far back as the Babysitters Club. That's about all I could remember.
Wow.
A long time ago.
But as a parent, how important is it for your children to read?
Well, they're always reading something. And especially now we have the World Wide Web. You
Yes.
can read anything and everything. So it is very important that they read. And they're always reading something. From A to Z, any topic, they're always reading something. And then they come sometimes and say, Mommy, did you know this? Mommy, did you know that? And I'm like, wow, you saw that right on Google. You learned that right off the internet. It's truly amazing.
That's fabulous.
Mm-hmm.
So, you say your books on Lulu. Are they in any of the local stores?
Not as yet, but I plan to this summer. Okay. It's just every time I plan to, the pandemic kept shutting everything down. And one thing, when school is about to open, these parents want their books. They don't want to be waiting for stores to open. They want to get these books. And so they're calling and they're contacting you and trying to get the books for their kids. And so it's just been kind of hectic like that. But yeah, I plan to go with Nassau Stationers. I've already spoken and had meetings and, you know, the calls and discussion prices, all that stuff. We've already been through all that. So that is the plan, Nassau Stationers this summer.
Right, yes. They've been one of the premier booksellers for educational books for many years.
And I buy all my boys' books. I buy them from there. So I've been with them for years.
Yes, yes.
So, yes.
Well, I think it's quite intriguing, this whole concept of writing, and especially the French books. Is there anything else you would like to tell us about your process? You know, you said you followed the formats too of other books, and do you once you've done the books, do you reach out to other teachers? How do you get your books out there? Do you reach out to teachers in different countries, in the neighboring countries, or do you or is it just people like from your inner circle?
Well, like I said, I am a part of the curriculum development team.
Okay.
I'm also, like I said, I partner with University UB, and I'm in those social circles with other foreign language teachers. So they know about the books. Every time I have a new book, I would post it. I would remind them, you know, they would reach out to me once they're ready to get the books. And that's how it's been working. Like I said, you have some public schools, you have some private schools using it. They're in the islands as well.
Beautiful.
And yes, and I am also a virtual school teacher with American High School in Florida, and they will be using the book. So all of that is in the making. And the great thing with the American High School, the students are from all over the world. We have students from China, from Europe, all over Europe, Spain, France, Africa, everywhere. So
that's fabulous.
The books will be everywhere very soon.
And I hope that they too would be sending reviews in to say what they think about the books.
I will definitely add that in.
Yes, it's key. It's key. But is your book, have you gone through the process of it being an approved book for the Ministry of Education? I know that you are part of the curriculum team, but how does that work? You know, not for people who are just not that for people who want to create a French book, but for people who say, well, I got a great idea for a book that I want to put in the schools. How would you guide somebody through that process?
Well, depending on the subject matter, you have different supervisors in the Ministry of Education for each subject. So they would have to find out who is the administrator for that particular subject, because you have one for math, you have one for science, and you would have to go to that person, speak with that person, present your books to them, and they would have a look at the book, and they have a review board that looks at the books and that approve the books to be put onto the Ministry of Education's book list as an approved book. So that is what I've had. That's what I've had to do.
Okay. Yeah, that's wonderful. And how does that book list, is that also circulated with the Homeschoolers Association, or is that just public? That just for public use?
I'm not certain. I am certain of the public use part, definitely. But the thing is, everything that the Ministry of Education does, even with the homeschool, they would go through the Ministry of Education. So if they're going through with them, they would look and see what are the approved books on the book list, because those are the books that they would encourage their students to buy. So yeah, so once it's approved, it's added to the book list, and that would be used as a basis for definitely for homeschool, I would think.
Well, this is all good information. Well, I just wanted to thank you. I want to thank you for being our guest today, Mrs. Mickelle Pratt, Madame Pratt, Madame.
Yes.
And so it's been a joy sharing with you today and having you share with us and our audience. And I hope they would run out and get a copy of your book, regardless of their age. Start from the top and get all 7 and go straight through them and learn French language. It is a lovely, lovely, very lovely language. I love it.
Absolutely.
So
and I definitely want to thank you for every opportunity that you have afforded me. I'm really, really happy to meet you. We'll meet face to face very soon, I'm sure, very soon. But definitely every opportunity that you afforded me, I'm thankful for it. And if I can just say to new writers out there, or anyone that wants to write a book, I absolutely encourage you to go out there, get creative. Know that it's not an overnight process. It's not an overnight success. It takes time, but put your all into your text. Make it your legacy. And that's what I want my books to be, my legacy. I don't want it to just be, it's on the market for a year or two and then disappear. I want it to be a legacy. And I want people to say that this book helped them to learn the language and to love the language, not just learn it, but love it, to love it.
Yes. And legacies require excellence. So you said the right thing.
Absolutely.
It takes an investment of time because so many people just think that, okay, I got an idea, I'll throw it up and throw it out. But leave that legacy of quality in content and in the message. So, Mrs. Madame Pratt, thank you. Merci beaucoup.
Merci beaucoup aussi. Very good. I like that.
And we won't go any further than that, lest I shame myself on camera. So thank you. And all the best to you in your book publishing endeavors.
Thank you.